were he with us tonight, William Bill Spiller, born in Tishomingo, Oklahoma on October 25, 1913, would have celebrated his 102nd birthday among golf enthusiasts, at least a few of whom are competitive equals, fellow champions who excelled at the game of golf at its highest levels. And make no mistake, Bill Spiller was a champion. Within 5 years after taking up the game at age 29, while still competing as an amateur, Spiller won every tournament in which he was eligible, up and down the California coast, more than 100 tournaments on the United Golf Association Tour. He set tournament records and course records while still an amateur. In October 1947, at age 34, Bill Spiller relinquished his amateur status with dreams of providing for his new family from a career of teaching and playing golf for a living on the PGA Tour. If you ask them, most golfers who have made a living at professional golf can recall their earliest competitive successes, and there may be many. As it turned out, Bill Spiller would have but one unrestricted opportunity ever, based on a sponsor invitation, to succeed at professional golf in a PGA-sanctioned event. To suggest he made it count would be an understatement. Spiller could not have imagined on the morning of January 2nd, 1948, but the Los Angeles Open at Riviera Country Club would represent his only legitimate chance at professional golf. Having worked the New Year's shift as a porter and baggage handler the night before at Union Station, Spiller teed off at Riviera among a starting field of more than 120 professionals, including a dozen major champions. At the end of the first round, only 4 golfers had shot under par, one of whom was the eventual champion, golf legend Ben Hogan. Tied at 68 with Hogan, in second place, Bill Spiller. Spiller had dreams he could beat them all. After the 68 to tie Hogan, we can only imagine that Spiller was bristling with confidence. He would go on to finish tied for 31st, earning both a paycheck and an automatic invitation 2 weeks hence into the Richmond Country Club Open at Oakland, California. As he traveled to Oakland, Spiller had been married all of 2 years. His firstborn son, William Spiller Jr., was less than a year old. He believed he had the game to compete with the best, that he could make a living for his new family playing professional golf. However, his dream was soon to be dashed. Here is more on his story from the PGA of America.
My father was a great champion on the golf course.
And in the fight for equality in the game.
William Spiller didn't set out to become golf's tragic hero when he took up the game.
He didn't stop golfing until he was 29 years of age. And he was up there with the best of his competitors.
Spiller's misfortune was the fact that he came along after the PGA of America had enacted a Caucasian-only clause in 1934.
Well, I always noticed the golf clubs when I was a little bitty. I remember the picket sign sitting in the living room on the floor.
After qualifying for the Richmond Open in 1948, Bill Spiller was informed he couldn't play in the tournament because he was black.
He was a very unique individual in the sense that he was one of the few at that time who was a college graduate.
He was determined that that Caucasian-only clause was going to be rescinded. He fought it with every fiber in his being.
Spiller filed a lawsuit, only to drop the legal action when he was led to believe the PGA of America's exclusionary policy would be rescinded. In 1952, Spiller received a letter inviting him to play in the San Diego Open, only to be once again turned away due to the Caucasian-only clause. During his fight, Spiller was barely providing for his family on the meager purses offered by the United Golfers Association. He won more than 100 times on the UGA, but was forced to make a living by also working as a red cap, a substitute teacher, and running a donut shop.
When he saw that he couldn't make it playing golf, he had to leave the game and went back and started to caddy, and that humiliated him.
While working as a caddy, Spiller's plight was brought to the attention of the California Attorney General, who spearheaded the eventual removal of the Caucasian-only clause in 1961.
My father was a pioneer.
Spiller had won the war, but lost his battle. By the time the clause was rescinded in 1961, he was 48 and well past his prime.
His anger was directed at the fact that he was denied the opportunity to show the world that he was as good as any of the pros at the time.
Bill Spiller opened the door for other black golfers to compete, leaving an indelible mark on the game.
All he ever wanted was the opportunity to try and make a living playing golf.
My father would be proud to finally be recognized as a member of the PGA.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Bill Spiller to the Oklahoma Golf Hall of Fame.